Well, good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. This is what I call my morning musings. I'm sitting here enjoying a good cup of coffee before I have to get out in some really nasty weather. We've got freezing rain and drizzle this morning. On the way in, about 4 o'clock this morning, it was like this. That black ice is no fun at all. Well, anyway, thanks again for joining me. We are continuing our study of the already but the not yet. We're going to try to conclude this series here very shortly, and I don't mean in a protracted shortly, all right? But I want to close the series with a discussion of two concepts. Number one, sanctification. Number two, perfection, completion. And so this morning I want to look at the fact that the New Testament writers very often speak of sanctification as an already reality, and then they say it's an ongoing reality, and they look forward to the completion of the reality. Now, for those who deny any kind of a transitional period, for those who deny any kind of an ongoing work, for anyone who denies the already but the not yet, then these concepts are very clearly disturbing because they destroy the idea that there is not a transition. They destroy the idea that there is not an already but not yet. Furthermore, the imminence of the not yet, which we have seen repeatedly, is always in a context of imminence, likewise destroys the idea for those who say, well, certainly, there is an already but not yet, but the not yet is at the end of time. It's the end of the Christian age. When we talk about sanctification, while there are many, many passages that a person could take a look at, I want you to notice Hebrews chapter 10. Look at verse 10. And he's speaking of the new covenant, and he says, by the which will, Greek word diatheke, covenant, by the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. Well, we are sanctified. Sound like a done deal, right? And so some people try to say, well, sanctification is already done. It's an accomplished reality in Hebrews chapter 10. Well, look at verse 4. For by one offering, see the exact same motif, exact same subject as verse 10. For by one offering he has perfected forever those who are being sanctified. It is a present participle. Verse 10, those who have been sanctified. Verse 14, those who are being sanctified. Christ had begun a work, but he was going to complete the work. Look at Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. Paul said, I am confident that the one who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of the Lord. Begun, consummation. There's transition, there's already but not yet. And when did Paul expect that day of the Lord? The coming of the Lord, or the Lord is at hand, Philippians chapter 4. On and on he goes throughout the entirety of Paul's writings. The end was near. So here we have the doctrine of sanctification, in which the New Testament writers very often spoke of it as a present reality. Look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 10 and 11. You have been, or you are sanctified. But they also spoke of that sanctification as an ongoing reality. And they looked forward to the day of the Lord, at which the work which had been begun in them would be completed. It would be perfected. And we will take a look at the concept of, quote, perfection in our next segment. So, one more time. Sanctification had begun. Paul says We have been sanctified. He says we are being sanctified. He looked forward to the completion of the work which Christ had begun in them. Here's the already but the not yet. Here's the transitional period. And they were awaiting consummation. Once again, completion at the day of the Lord. When did Paul say the day of the Lord would be? Now, Hebrews chapter 10, verse 37, in a very, very little while, the one who is coming to do what? To complete the work, will come, and he will not delay. Already but not yet of sanctification, placed in a context of imminence at the day of the Lord. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this morning's morning musings. We'll see you on the flip side.